Hello! It's been a while. It has been so long that I'm pretty sure I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore in my last studio vlog, but I do laundry, okay? I do laundry, I swear. I had some problems recently. I was super stressed out, so I was breaking out like crazy and I did not feel confident to be on camera. And you might be able to tell, but we're on a new camera! I'm using a Digi Osmo. I was actually on FaceTime with my mom and she was like, "You haven't used your camera yet." And I was like, I have been using it. It's just that I haven't edited the video or I haven't really been wanting to film because I've had bad events and stuff. And my mom said, even if this event isn't good, you still need to use the camera. So I'm here using the camera to show my parents that their money went to a good place. Thank you, mom and dad, thank you. And I'm going to be going to Chicago very soon. I've been kind of just scrambling with life stuff because my day job is just really busy. But all excuses aside, because you guys are not here to hear all of that, I will do my best to bring this camera with me and vlog in Chicago because I think that would be super cool and fun. So in today's video, we're going to talk about things that I haven't been updating you guys on. So there are 3 events that I did that I can talk about. If you want to skip through on things, the timestamps are in the description below, so you can go ahead and hop around if you want. In between, I'm gonna also talk a little bit about my background as an artist because I have a quote-unquote studio clip, but I'm gonna just talk about my life and my experience as an artist and how it all started and that lore and stuff. But before we even get there, I'm going to talk about our first event on the roster, which happened in early to mid-September. September is kind of a weird month where we're at the end of summer. We're kind of in that middle area where it's just oh, it's, summer's ending, we're at the end of summer, let's all hurry up and make events. So on that particular weekend that I was vending, it was just a bunch of other events going on that same day. So unfortunately, the foot traffic took a hit, but I mean, it really was just abnormal for how I usually do at Modern Mouse events. I feel like the foot traffic is usually really good, but I will talk more about the details. I'm gonna go ahead and run this clip of me at the event. Modern Mouse Gifts is a gift store based in Alameda, California. They're inside of a mall called South Shore Center, I think. And it's really awesome because for vending with Modern Mouse, the vending fee is very low, and also they provide a canopy weights, and table and chairs. That is so amazing. You don't have to pay an extra rental fee or anything. You kind of just show up with all your stuff and they provide everything else. That's what I really love about doing Modern Mouse events. I don't have to worry about bringing all those other things. I can just focus on bringing my tablecloth and my inventory and displays. So actually on this particular day, I did not know that I was gonna get 2 tables and I did not bring enough items to display everything. So I was just stretching everything out. We ended up getting there and I think that's what's important. This event was a trinket trading event, which I have never done before. So it was my first time trinket trading. I really loved it. I got a lot of hippers for trading these plush keychains and little plushies I brought. And for any attendees who didn't know that it was a trinket trading event, they could also buy any of the plushies I had on display. And I felt like the pricing was pretty reasonable. A lot of the plushies that I have are from round 1 because me and Kyle love the crane machines, and also it helps me offload the amount of stuff I have. And of course we got Chipotle because we're inside a mall. That's the nice thing about vending at Modern Mouse. You're in a mall, you have drinks and food and restroom very accessible to you. I got a lot of hippers in exchange for other things, and I ended up buying 1 Monchichi hipper from another vendor who was there. Honestly, I felt like this vendor had very good prices because if you go to some stores who sell these blind boxes, they get pretty freaking expensive. $30 to $40 for a hipper, I can't do that. Especially in this economy, I can't do that. I got this really cute Monchichi hipper. It's pink, and I love pink, I love green. Well, if you didn't know, now you do, but that is totally my vibe. I ended up putting the hipper on my monitor, and I got this embroidered keychain. But yeah, those were pretty much my trades and buys for the day. In total, 3 hippers and 1 plush keychain. 2 of them I had bought, but the other 2 were traded. Overall, the event was still really good. It didn't perform as high as the June event I did with them, but it still performed very well. One thing that I did realize when I did this event though is that I am so bad at doing outdoor events. I don't know how to prepare for them. I am not great at bringing proper clothes for them because it was so windy and I was so cold. And my fiancée, Kaya, her allergies were acting up like crazy because we're in this really windy center of the mall and it had just trees and flowers and just a bunch of stuff coming at us. I have no complaints. Thank you, Modern Mouse. It was awesome. Now to talk about the not so good event that my mom wants to hear about. I had a bad event happen the weekend after this event that I did with Modern Mouse, and it was 3 days before my birthday, so it hit pretty hard for me. Honestly, taking that break in August made me really rethink a lot of things about being a small artist and owning this business, sacrificing my hobby to monetize it. I was just really thinking about a lot of things. Like, I really did not feel confident in myself, and I felt like, damn, do people even like my art? It led me to keep thinking, is it all worth it? Like, is it worth it? This is my 3rd year actually pronouncing myself as a sole proprietorship. And also, it marked my very first event that I did. So I was just really like rethinking everything. Honestly, for me, I hate being vulnerable, but I still push myself to be out there. And that's why I take it so personal when people are being really harsh to me or really harsh about my art. There is a lot of time and effort and energy that goes into having a small art business that people don't see behind the scenes. And when I say this, I'm not talking about dropshippers. Like, dropshippers are not in this right now. I feel so beaten by like the social media algorithms, by just like everything. I have to keep reminding myself, like, I need to be authentically me. I need to be as genuine as possible, because if not for that, then it wouldn't be worth it. Like, I make art because I want to. I make art because it's fun. I am growing as a person, and making this into something super like financially lucrative is going to take some time. And a lot of times when I'm talking to you guys about these events, it's not even about the money most of the time. There are some events that I perform not super amazing, and I still give it a really good review because I had a good time. For people who are full-time artists, they can't have that sacrifice. I'm in the in-between right now where I'm trying to transition my life to eventually get there to be a full-time artist. I don't know if any of that is making sense because I'm just like in a really yapping mood today, but to get back on topic, I had a bad event. And this event really solidified and kind of validated those negative thoughts I was having. Before I really talk about this event, I want to say I'm not blaming the coordinators. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not gonna say anything else other than like, I think it was just not a good weekend. Again, we're talking about September. There's a percentage of people who are typically attending these events who are students. When you're coming towards the end of September, like, there are a lot of students who are focusing on school, who are focusing on getting their life together. And even then, we're gonna also talk about that the economy, we're not doing well right now. I need to really get out of that mentality of blaming myself and really think about the environment. I'm not gonna say what the event is. I'm not gonna name names. I'm just gonna tell you guys it was really not good. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll this clip that I recorded while I was at the event, and I was super heartbroken. It was probably like around 8 p.m. at this point, and I had started setting up at that event at 2 p.m. The event officially started at like 4 p.m. I think, or 5 p.m., and it ends at 9 p.m. So we're gonna roll the clip. Okay, it is 7:45. It is almost 8, but I can confirm that this is the slowest event I have ever vended at. I think it's just all unfortunate because I felt like the first time I was here it was really good, but this time it's actually like extremely slow, and I don't know if it's my placement or what, because I do see lots of people on the other side of the venue, so I'm not sure. It might be something about my placement, and I've never had an experience like this before where my placement has affected me this much. I am $4 above table fee, which that is not looking good. It is just really unfortunate how it all played out. I feel like there are sometimes crowds of people around the table, but it's just them looking and appreciating the art, which I love that, you know, but also, like, I'm not making that many sales here. Here's my booth at the event. It was kind of like a night market vibe. I don't have experience with 626 or OC Night Market, but this was just another night market in my area. It had this little like balloon arch thing, and I used that for my clothing rack, quote unquote, just to display clothes and my sign. I was really pleased with how my display looked. I felt like everything looked pretty even. I'm not fully utilizing the 10 by 10 they've given me because at this point I was just really tired and I just wanted to keep it simple. So I didn't bring another table. I didn't have anything else. I just brought what I had with me, and then I used my wagons to separate my booth and the person behind me so that people wouldn't walk from behind me, because I think that's not great, you know? But again, there was nothing to really indicate that you shouldn't walk behind me. This event, I profited $14, and that's not even including like cost of goods made. That's not including the time. So honestly, it was probably like more of a loss. After the vendor fee, I made $14. I was really disappointed because I had done this event earlier in the year, like during springtime, and the event went really well. I made $300 profit at the first event. So coming again, I had kind of like a general expectation. I think I will make at least half that, and I didn't even meet that 150. So I was just really hurt because I was like, is it my art? Is it me? Am I cut out for this? Is what I was really asking myself. It just sucks to be so excited to do something and have like a general expectation of how it will go, and it just feels like I got farted in my face, you know? Like I felt like I got pink eye. That being said, most of the sales that I made were stickers and stationery. That's not even enough money for me to put that back into inventory. Like $14 after an event is not enough for me to restock my inventory. After that event, my friends came over and we went to go get canes. So my $14 went to a box combo. I was so sad. I was so again, I'm not saying anything about the coordinator. It wasn't the coordinator. They kept advertising the event. I'm pretty sure it was the foot traffic. And also, to be fair, this venue had an event every week of the month of September. And I feel like people get like fatigued from that. The same typical audience comes at events because of their location, you know? So people will get pretty tired of that. Even if the theme of the event is different, there is kind of a typical crowd that will come, and if they've already gone to one that month, they're not going to go again. Or I should say, it's very unlikely that they will go again. I don't know if this is true to everyone, but so far in my years of vending, now that we're almost at 3 in November, but I feel like every year that I vend, there's at least that one event that doesn't go very well. And I'm going to put this out in the universe. I'm hoping that this one event is my one for the year, because last year I had one that was kind of like this, and I'm hoping this is my one that I have to sacrifice. So that is my recap. I'm going to move on to talking about shikishi boards, and then we're going to go over this event that I did early October, which is Chuseok Fest with 1 Star Limited. So these shikishi boards are heavily inspired from my friend Misa. She drew one of me for my birthday. Thank you, Misa. Shout out Misa. I was really inspired by her, and I hadn't done traditional art in so long. This really helped me, and I feel like when you have a tangible piece of art versus a drawing on an iPad, for me personally, this is more satisfying than having drawn on my iPad. For my boards, I did a mixture of like Decodin crafts and also just traditional ink drawing. So I started on pencil first. These shikishi boards are used for like poetry, calligraphy, or illustrations like what I'm doing. I got all of my portrait references from this Instagram account. I'll put it here on the screen, but they are called like PP Gal Studio or something. I don't know exactly, I don't remember, but they are a gyaru like styling, makeup, and photography studio. So you can actually book appointments with them to get pictures done. And I want to so bad one day, but I just don't know when I will have the time and money to go to Japan again. I love gyaru subculture fashion. So I was really excited to work on these portraits. For this one, I'm doing a green background. I love the color green. I want it to be kind of brat, you know? And for the art supplies I'm using, I'm just using like a I'm using a calligraphy pen to fill in the darker areas, and then I'm using a micron pen for lining, hot glue, and also some super glue because I was impatient, but the super glue did not go well with the alcohol markers, so I ended up using hot glue for everything. For this drawing, I wanted it to be this girl who has her hair tied into ponytails with micro braids, but I felt like lining the braids were not really showing what I wanted, so I ended up filling in her hair and using a white ink marker, like a jelly roll pen, and I used that to redo the lines, and I think it translates way better in this way. So you guys can keep watching this. It's gonna be like my Subway Surfer speed art while I talk about other things. What I want to talk about during this time is, I don't know if I really shared this or like put it out on YouTube. I've definitely talked about it on Instagram before, but I was never traditionally trained as an artist. I've like taken ceramics classes at a community college, and I've done like crafts and stuff and like workshops. I've never taken a class where I do like figure drawing or live drawing or anything like that. I'm not professionally are academically trained at all. And I feel like a lot of artists aren't. Like, I know a lot of people who don't. I don't know, I just kind of want to talk about that. Was a really big art kid, but I never took art classes in school because I wanted to be in choir. And that's just for fun, I guess. But with how my family is, there is a very big thing about wanting to do art as a hobby and having fun with it and not making it something where you're making money from it. My family never really said that I couldn't make money from doing art. They just told me that they would prefer seeing me do something else with my life and my time. At a very young age, it solidified in me that I could not pursue art as a career. And that was mostly because with how I grew up and where I grew up, that was not really an option. My family really focused on pursuing medical degrees or something in medicine, like becoming a nurse. As like a hobby, I was very supported. Like they were like, yeah, you do art for fun, do art as a hobby. But if I were to ever bring up studying art in school and doing art as a career, like it was kind of not really talked about. So at like age 12, I was like, I'm gonna study language. I'm gonna study language and be a translator for the government, which obviously that ended up not happening, as you can see in my current career. I kept doing that for like the entirety of high school. When I was a senior in high school, I changed my mindset around because I was still taking college classes as a high school student. And I told myself, like, I don't think I can do this, so I'm gonna do something more general. Because if I do a general career path, then there will be more open doors for me. So I ended up leaning towards studying business. And that went from finance to managerial information systems, which is like kind of a joke I tell people is that managerial information systems is the major you take when you fail computer science. Um, no shade to anyone, but I felt that deeply in my heart when I was in school. For my first year of college, I actually got rid of all of my sketchbooks, and I really regret it now as an adult. I put all of my stuff in a box and I told my parents, you guys can figure out what you want to do with it because I'm not doing art anymore. I'm like serious now. It just really sucks and it really hurts that I had done that to myself. I was kind of just being the main person restricting myself of this dream of becoming an artist and really like diving into art even as a hobby anymore. When I was finished with my first year of college and I went on to my second year, I left home and I said that I was gonna quit art for real. I went on to buy a refurbished iPad and I was telling myself, like, oh, this is like a perfect investment for taking notes and stuff because I don't have to buy notebooks and buy paper and whatever. And I ended up downloading Procreate. All of a sudden, I'm taking commissions off Instagram. Through commissions, I actually ended up being able to pay off my iPad. During this time, there was a point where I really had a thought that was like, I can make something out of this. I was telling myself that I could study, I could go work my job after school and then go draw at home and then, study more. That was my life for all of college. After that one moment, I was like, wait, why did I ever give up art? But even then, in my senior year, I was really suppressing myself from pursuing art because I wanted to be more serious. I wanted to be more serious about my major and get a really good corporate job where I could pursue programming more than art, which like how that turned out, I guess. During that COVID lockdown, like in 2020, I was in my third and fourth year of college and I had moved out from the first place I was living. I moved into an apartment where everyone is an artist. Every single person is an art major who is like studying animation or illustration and wants to be storyboard artist or revisionist. And I thought that was so inspiring. And I was the only person not studying art and pursuing an art career. I was the only person who was focused in business, which is really funny because I feel like that is the combination of the two worlds that you really have to deal with when you're an art vendor, because in the background there's so much stuff that happens not related to art. So much time and dedication that has to go into things related in business. But I feel like for me, as a person who was not studying art, I really learned a lot from them. I grew so much as a person and I learned so much from them that I was able to get like a short term part-time jobs teaching little kids art, like just enough knowledge to help someone else out. I don't know how to really explain it, but because the circles I was in on the internet included art, that just happened to work out and I was in an environment that really nourished me to become an artist and become the person I am today. So I give a lot of credit to my friends who art artists. Being in that environment started up like me opening my shop on Etsy, taking orders through Twitter, and like just drawing and continuously getting feedback on my artwork. It just became something I didn't think it would ever be. Of course, during COVID, events were not happening, so I did not really understand how any of that worked. I was like, sure, I'll put myself out there. I have art on my Instagram. Like, I have a bunch of stickers I need to sell. So let's see how it goes. Ended up getting in, and my booth was really like embarrassingly bare. It was my very first time vending. Didn't know how to do anything. I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos on how to do things, how to get a seller's permit, how to do whatever, and somehow it worked out. Even before then, I was doing a trial run with So Market in San Francisco, which is now unfortunately a consignment store that is closed. I had my artwork in their store for a special event that they were doing for Hello Kitty, like Hello Kitty's birthday. I feel like if you have a passion that's inside of you and you keep trying to suppress it, no matter what you do, it will come back. It will end up coming back to you when you have time. It won't ever actually 100% leave, and it'll always be in your system, or there's like a little voice in the back of your head saying something. Whew, so that was a lot of talking. I can literally talk more about this. I really want to talk about what it means to value yourself as an artist and how to handle the business aspects, like the behind the scenes when it comes to running an art business. If you guys are interested in a video like that, let me know, and I am totally down to do something like that. But since I've yapped on for so long, it is time to talk about our third and last event, which is Chuseok Fest, hosted at Westgate Mall in Saratoga, created by One Star Limited, specifically a Korean mid-autumn festival. So a lot of the vendors that I was with were selling K-pop merch. The focus of the performances were Korean related. So I didn't get any footage because I was too shy to vlog during this event. I was also soloing. I do have a clip of my booth at this event, so you guys can take a look. I was super happy with how my booth looked. I tried not to make it too high so that it wouldn't cover anyone. And I also made it very even, and the way that I set it up is so I could still sit down. I felt like my shirts were kind of stuffed in the corner so no one could really see it, but I mean, it's okay. I did not make any shirt sales this day. I did not make any tote bag sales, and I was selling my shikishi boards for the first time, but no sales there either. I felt like my more popular items were definitely sticker sheets, stickers, charms. This event was good. I felt like this mall is typically pretty dead, but it was a very pleasant surprise to see so many people inside. I had a lot of fun just being at the event, and I ate king egg roll for the first time. I feel like I am a real San Jose resident now that I've ate king egg roll, but I mean, I don't know. There's other things, that I should still do as a San Jose resident that I haven't done yet. I have nothing really crazy to note about this event, but I was near the stage, so I felt like the foot traffic was really good. We were closer to the crowd and where the entrance and exit is. I felt like the vendors on the other side were having a harder time, like not the ones near the stage, but like towards the shopping areas. They had a harder time about getting foot traffic over there. There were some vendors that weren't artists. I understand it's kind of just like a, vendor doesn't have to be art related. For a K-pop event, I didn't really make K-pop merch sales. I felt like a lot of people who like K-pop appreciated my K-pop stuff, but they didn't really buy anything. So it's kind of telling me I should not focus on K-pop anymore as an artist. I love drawing K-pop related stuff, but it doesn't sell. I'll still probably draw it. I just probably won't make merch of it, unfortunately. Like maybe a sticker here and there, but my Rise and Espa charms that I made are not selling. Maybe it's because I am not focusing on popular enough groups or something. I haven't really been making those sales in person. Like a lot of my K-pop items sell online and not in person. I only made K-pop art and merch because of the amount of K-pop events I was doing this year. I did Kawaii K-pop Night, K-Play Fest, and I also did this event, Chuseok Fest, which is not K-pop, but it is Korean related, so I was not the only person who was selling K-pop stuff. If anything, I noticed that my photo card holders sell really well for obvious reasons at K-pop events. So I feel like I need to just focus on photo card holders instead of merch of their mascots. So I'm planning on just shifting over to focusing on drawing those designs instead. I also love making photo card holders. I just feel like it's very expensive to make. It's kind of like a minimum quantity you have to make that is pretty large. So when I make that minimum quantity, I have to make sure I sell it. I was sitting with the Chikawa ones for a while because Chikawa did not really pick up until this year. I had the design for a while, so I'm finally sold out of it and I can focus on drawing other themes for photo card holders, and I'm excited to try that out. The turnover was pretty good. Honestly, if anything, I was surprised. I did not know you guys were going to show up, and I'm so happy you all did because this was a first time event hosted by One Star Limited, who is this wonderful person named Shannon, and she runs this K-pop t-shirt merch store. I love her designs. I think hosting an event is really adventurous and it's really risky because you're putting yourself out there and you're putting other vendors at risk. And I have no complaints. I thought the event went amazing. And I felt like the advertising was really good too because for a mall that usually has no one inside, it was pretty poppin'. So overall, I would say that I would definitely do an event like this again. Would I do it anytime in the near future? Like, I'm not sure because I just have a lot lined up for the beginning of 2026. And also, I have a lot of plans for Holiday Fair, which is at the end of November. My next event that's coming up is Fam Jam, which is happening next Friday. So that's like October 24th. Fam Jam is a Filipino American History Month event, and I'm so excited. It's my first time doing this event in particular. If you saw my previous vlogs, you'll know that I did Jeepney Jam with the same coordinators, but I'm very excited to do Fam Jam because they have like an annual kind of reputation and they have quite like the name with them. I'm expecting really good performances and also Filipino food, so I'm really excited. I'm soloing this event, so if you see me, say hi and be nice to me because, as I said, I'm really mean to myself. Any support and kindness is very deeply appreciated. Anyway, so that is the end of my talk for today. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you had a good time. You thought it was insightful to hear from the good, the bad, and the good. If you want to hear me talk more about how I like to run my business, how I do things in the admin, I can talk a little bit about that stuff too. But you will expect a vlog of me in Chicago and also a vlog of me at the Fam Jam event happening later this month. Other than those two things happening in October, I will see you guys next month for Holiday Fair with SJ Made on Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. I'm going to be vending with my friend Unichu or Eunice Chu. Come out and support small artists and small businesses for your holiday shopping. I'm going to have lots of new stuff out, and I will also be doing a stamp rally with my friend Eunice. We're doing a Smiski stamp rally, so you can get these really cute Smiski stickers from us if you purchase anything with no minimum. Well, thank you guys so much again. I'll see you later. Bye!